Hi babies. So it's come to my attention that I'm in the middle of almost 30 series, and I thought that this would be a good time to just sort of catalog all the series I'm in the middle of, how deep I am into the series, and my thoughts on the series so far. We can come back to this at the end of the year and just see how much progress I made on completing series that I was in the middle of. So with me, I have a stack of some books that are in series that I'm in the middle of, but of course, this is not representative of every single series I'm in the middle of, because there's a lot of them. And some of them are books that I own physically, some are ones that I read on Kindle, so it all depends. I do have my laptop with me, and I don't even know if you can see because of the glare, but I do have this little janky reading tracker in just a table in Word. I need to make like a formalized spreadsheet, but I am going to be like looking over this way a little bit just so I can keep track of my list. Please let me know what series you're in the middle of right now and how you're feeling about them. Are you loving them? Are you hating them? Are you sort of dragging your feet through it? Let me know, because we've all been there. Okay, so you all know the history between me and Robin Hobb. So I am still, after many years, in the middle of reading the Farseer trilogy. I read the first one, Assassin's Apprentice. I gave that one 4 stars. I read the second one, Royal Assassin. Royal Assassin was so good, 5 stars, incredible. And I have been in the middle of reading this one. I've been on page 50 for about 2 years now because I'm a little baby and I can't make it past this certain like really heartbreaking goodbye scene that happens in the beginning of this book. Like I can't make it past. It's just so emotionally damaging. So I am still in the middle of this series, but I absolutely must finish it this year, so we're not even going to worry about that. But I have to mention it. I told you guys that I am going to continue mentioning this book in every TBR type video that I make for the foreseeable future, so that I can continue to publicly shame myself for having not finished it yet, because it's actually really ridiculous at this point. So then another series that I am in the middle of is the Saint of Steel series by T. Kingfisher. There are currently 4 books out in that series, and I have read 3 of them. I really love this fantasy series. It's so fun, and each book is about a different paladin. These paladins are, you know, warriors for a particular god, and there was this event where they believe that their deity has died, and so their order of knights sort of has lost their purpose. They don't really know what they're doing, and so each book is about how one of these paladins is trying to find a way to be useful in their society again, because they no longer have the role that they used to have of protecting their god. And so each book is sort of about the paladins dealing with like the ramifications of no longer serving their god anymore, as well as like falling in love in some way, shape, or form. So Paladin's Grace was cute. I gave that one 3 stars. Paladin's Strength is really, really good. I gave that one 4 stars. Paladin's Hope was my favorite. I gave that one 5 stars. Just absolutely incredible. And I have to read Paladin's Faith, so I'm hoping to read that one this year. And they recently got this new cover redesign. The one that I'm going to show you on the screen is like the UK covers that were recently announced by Orbit. So gorgeous. I need them. I need them really bad. So I read 3 out of the 4. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, so then we have the Radiant Emperor duology by Shelley Parker Chan. I have, of course, read She Who Became the Sun. I still need to read He Who Drowned the World. I have talked a bunch about how I really, really enjoy She Who Became the Sun. I've just put it off for a really long time, mostly because I remember speaking with my friend Erin about it, and we both really loved She Who Became the Sun, and Erin was like a little bit disappointed with this book. Like, she didn't love this book as much as she loves She Who Became the Sun. But that has just sort of like, it scared me away from finishing it, because I love the first book so much and I don't want to be disappointed, so I keep putting off reading this one. But I have to do it. I have to dive in and give it a chance, and hopefully I will enjoy it more than my homie did. Like, you know, it is what it is. So then we have the Skyland series by Kennedy Ryan. I have read Before I Let Go. I am in the middle of reading This Could Be Us. Before I Let Go, I gave like 3 stars, 3.5 stars. I think that Kennedy Ryan's writing is so good, so entertaining, so nuanced and fascinating. I will say, however, that romance, it was a little bit of a tough pill to swallow for me, because I truly feel like her husband or ex-husband, whatever, I feel like he was an absolute criminal for running a business with her they own a restaurant together, and he decides to start dating their head chef so that she has to see his new girlfriend literally every day, who's also her employee. It was just messy. He was just a very messy person, and it was a tough pill to swallow for me. So if she likes it, I love it. But in that particular case, I was like, girl, stand up. He don't respect you. Like, it's no way in the world me and him running a business together and he fraternizing with the employees and you supposed to be okay with it? That's crazy. But it was a very well written book. Kennedy Ryan knows how to write a book. So I enjoyed it. I definitely want to read more. And I am, like I said, in the middle of reading This Could Be Us. I'm not too far in, only about 30 pages. And I also am excited to read Can't Get Enough when that comes out this spring. So yeah, I love Kennedy Ryan. I think she's a good woman, a great writer. But the guy in that book, what the hell was his name? Josiah, maybe? He was like a criminal to me. That's just me personally. He was like, that was too much for me. I don't know how she did that. I don't know how she was putting up with that shit. Couldn't have been me. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So the next series that I'm in the middle of is the Last Binding trilogy by Freya Marske. The first book is called A Marvelous Light. The second book is called A Restless Truth. And the third one is called A Power Unbound. So I, of course, have read A Marvelous Light. I gave A Marvelous Light like 3.5 stars. I did really enjoy it. This is a great, like, historical fantasy romance. It's about this guy, the first one is about this guy who ends up getting a new job, and once he gets into his new job, he discovers that this person sort of works for like the Ministry of Magic. That's not exactly what it's called, but that's sort of what it is. And so he is just a regular human guy, so he doesn't know anything about magic, but he is sort of thrust into the magical underground of this like Edwardian English society, and he is caught up in this conspiracy because whoever held the job before him, they were like in some magical debt. So he ends up embroiled in this whole thing. He gets a curse put on him and by these like magical goons, and this is about him and this other wizard trying to figure out like what was going on, what was the previous guy who worked in his position like into, why was all this stuff happening, why are these people after him, and also trying to figure out how to break this curse that's on the main character. And so that's like a lot of stuff going on, and also they're falling in love with each other. It was really good. They had really good tension and banter. So this second book is a sapphic romance. It's about the main character in the first book's sister. Her name is Maud, and this is about her. She's on like a voyage, and she's also unraveling like a magical conspiracy and finding a girlfriend. We love to see it. And then this one, A Power Unbound, this involves like a magician that one of the main characters in the first one knew and had history with, and he sort of is rejecting the magical community because it led to the like death of one of his siblings, and he's just really not into magic or anything like that. But he's also a really powerful magician, and so they need his help for some stuff and some things. And this book is following him and his romance with a dude that he has tension and I don't know, that he has some kind of tension with. They don't like each other until they do. You know, that usual thing. But I definitely need to get back into this because, like I said, I really enjoy Freya's writing style. I really like romantic fantasy, and I just enjoy the way that she like does world building and does character banter and character interaction. So I need to get to this. I don't know why it's taking me so long, but I am gonna finish this. Da, 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 da. So up next we have the Fallen Empire series by Grace Draven. I have read 2 of the 3 books in this series, so I need to still read the third one. This one is called Raven Unveiled, and I did actually start this one at one point. I think I got like maybe 20 pages into it, and this is about a woman named Ciora who is like the nanny of this young like disabled girl, and her father is someone who works in like, I was gonna say he's a secret agent. Is that what I want to call him? He's like the right-hand man of this like evil empress, and he does her bidding, and he like, you know, he kills people. He's an assassin. Like, he's that kind of person. And while he's off doing his assassinations, Ciora is the nanny for his child, and essentially some stuff happens that puts Ciora on his bad side, and so now he is sort of hunting her down, and somehow in the midst of him hunting her down and wanting vengeance against her, they're gonna fall in love. And the guy, his name is Garrick, he just seems like a douchebag. Like, he just kind of sucked. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about him. But the first book in the series, which is called The Phoenix Unbound, which I really loved, that one involved the kidnapping. Like, the main guy kidnapped his girl. So I mean, clearly I'm not against like the main character guy being a jerk, but for some reason this guy rubbing me the wrong way. But we will see. I will finish this trilogy as soon as I can. And this is a signed copy. I'm always like so hyped whenever I open it because I bought this on a whim, like from a secondhand site, and I did not know that it was signed. So it's just like, it's cute that it's signed. So love that for me. We'll read it eventually. And another Grace Draven series that I am in the middle of that I have not finished yet is the Wraith King series. There are multiple books in this series. I'm pretty sure there's 3 books. Radiance, which I have read like 3 times. Gave it 5 stars. It's an excellent monster romance. I love it. It started me on my monster romance journey. And then the second book, Eidolon, is about our same characters from the first book, Brescian and Ildiko. And the first book is about them entering a political marriage, and the second book is about them being married and like ruling as a couple, and their country is in the midst of some strife. There is like sort of this magical curse that is ruining the land and killing people, and they're trying to find a way to solve those issues. But as I've mentioned before, I really have this problem where I get too attached to characters and then I struggle to see them go through strife and struggle at all. And so like Brescian and Ildiko, one of my favorite couples of all time, like I said, I have reread their book multiple times and I love that so much. And just the idea of Brescian and Ildiko being in like dire straits is very stressful. And I have read like half of Eidolon before putting it down, and like there was this part where it was kind of like maybe Brescian will have to break his marriage with Ildiko and marry someone else, like for the political alliances that it would bring him. And I was like, pump the brakes, do not break up my favorite couple. And I just put the book down ever since reading that line. Like, I'm sure that that's not true, I'm sure that's not something that's actually going to happen, but just seeing it even be a possibility upset me so deeply that I have not picked the book back up, but I will eventually. And then the third book in this series is called The Epos King, and this is about Brescian's cousin and this other like lord that lives in a territory close to Brescian and Ildiko's kingdom. And Brescian's cousin, whose name I don't remember right now, her and this human guy have tension and they're going to be in love and stuff. I really do want to read their book, so I have to hurry up and read Eidolon and put my big girl pants on so I can do that. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So I've read 1 out of the 3, which is just so insane because I have read Radiance 3 times already. So it's kind of like, why haven't I finished the series? I don't know. My brain is a complicated, strange place. So that's all you really need to know about me. I'm a very strange gal. Okay, so another thing that I'm in the middle of, the Red Rising Saga by Pierce Brown. I really enjoyed the main trilogy. I think that Darrow is such a fascinating character. He's such a fascinating, complex character, and I definitely want to read the other books in this series. So like I said, I've read the first 3, and then there are 3 more in like the sequel series that are already out and that I also own, but I just haven't gotten around to reading them yet and continuing the series, but I do definitely have an interest. I'm also in the middle of reading the Curse Bearer series by Veronica Roth, so I have read 1 out of the 2. Now, mind you, this is not that bad because I am actually all caught up on this series. The second book is coming out later this year. So the first book is called When Among Crows, and the second book is called To Clutch a Razor. So To Clutch a Razor doesn't come out until September, I believe. But this is a really fun urban fantasy series. I absolutely enjoyed the first book. It's actually a novella, but I really enjoyed it so much. It was just so fun, so immersive, immediately attached to the characters, and I'm very excited, very eagerly anticipating the second book in this series. But it was just so good. So I love it. I'm all caught up with everything that is already released, but I am technically in the middle of that one. Then in a similar vein, I'm in the middle of reading Sign of Affection by Sue Morishita. I have read 10 out of the 12 volumes that are currently written. However, the 2 unread volumes there, they just haven't been translated to English yet, so I'm waiting for them to get translated to English later on this year, and I'm very excited about that. Sign of Affection is such a cute romance manga, so if you are looking for romance manga about adult characters, you should read it. It's very cute, very sweet. I love it a lot. I'm also in the middle of the Summoner's Circle series by S.T. Gibson. Now, this one, I'm going to say that there's 3 books in the series and I've read 2. Okay, so I have read Odd Spirit, which is the prequel to the series, and then I've read, of course, Evocation, which is the first book in the series, and then the second book, Ascension, is coming out in the springtime. So I'm technically counting it as being a 3-book series, even though it's like 2 books and a prequel. But so far I'm caught up. I have read the prequel and the first book in the series, and I am eagerly anticipating Ascension coming out. I think it's going to be great. Literally, I love urban fantasy so much. I love triads, I love polyromance, I love the magic system in this. It's particularly just the fact that a bunch of different kinds of magic exist simultaneously in this world. I think that's really, really fun, so I love it. It's a good time. Then we have the Expanse series, which I'm in the middle of. The one I'm holding up right now is the 5th book in the series. I have read the first 4, and there are 9 books in this series. And Nemesis Games is really going to decide for me if I want to continue on with reading the series, because my truth is that I have not really enjoyed reading the book series as much as I enjoyed the TV series. Like, I'm deeply, madly, passionately obsessed with the TV series. I have rewatched it several times at this point, but I just have not been able to get like the same enjoyment from the reading experience. And it's like some of the books I like, and then some of the books I don't. And yeah, so Nemesis Games is really going to be the deciding factor on if I'm going to buy the next book in the series, which is called Babylon's Ashes, and if I'm planning to continue reading the series at all. The only real reason that I have to maybe potentially keep reading the series is the fact that the series does continue on beyond where the TV show ends up. It ends with the events of Babylon's Ashes, which is the book after this one, but then the story goes on for several more books, so I am interested in like where this series goes after the TV show ends, but we'll see on if I get there actually, because I don't know. I'm undecided, but I will at least read this one since I already own it. Alright, so then we have the Burning series by Evan Winter. I, of course, have read the first 2 in a series. So I read Rage of Dragons, which I gave like a 3.5 star, and I read Fires of Vengeance, which I gave a 4 star. It's probably like a 5 star in retrospect, but at the time I gave it a 4 star. Really, really enjoyed like this series and where it's going and the progression of it. And I have been waiting for many years for Lord of Demons to come out. It has been pushed. The publishing date has been pushed a few different times, and I thought that Lord of Demons was supposed to be coming out maybe this year, like this spring, but I don't think that that's going to be true. I think the Goodreads page is lying to me when it says that that's the release date, because it doesn't even have a cover yet. And so yeah, I don't think that it's actually going to come out, and I am just patiently waiting for when it does, because I know that the author Evan Winter has been through some stuff, so he can take his time. Then we have the Stormlight Archive. I read the first book, Way of Kings, last year, and I am currently on Words of Radiance. There are 5 books in this series. I've only read 1 so far, and I need to get into book 2. And book 2 is on my priority TBR for 2025, so I'm hoping to at least make that much progress in the series and at least read book 2, but we'll see how things go. Another series I'm in the middle of, we have the All for the Game series by Nora Sakovic, and this is actually a really exciting one because the 5th book in this series just came out, The Golden Raven. But I have been a deep fan of the All for the Game series since I was 16 years old, you guys. I was locked in from day one, and this is the 5th book in the series. This is the sequel series, which is about Jean Moreau. I love Jean so much. He is just such a tortured baby, and I need to see him on his healing journey. Just seeing Jean be loved by the Trojans and being comforted by Jeremy, and Jeremy being his new partner, is just so good, so excellent, so beautiful. Loving it deeply. So I am very eager to read The Golden Raven, which just came out yesterday as of the filming of this video, so I'm excited to read it. Alright, so the next series I'm in the middle of is the Cemeteries of Amalo series. Alright, so this is a spinoff of one of my favorite fantasies of all time, The Goblin Emperor, and this Cemeteries of Amalo series follows this character named Thara Kalahar, who is a priest, and a priest called a witness for the dead. And so these priests typically, they preside over like funerary services, but they also have the ability to kind of speak to the dead or to hear the dead's final thoughts. And so Thara uses that ability, and so do other witnesses for the dead, to investigate if there was like foul play involved with someone's death. So each book he's sort of solving a mystery, and I read the first one, Witness for the Dead. The second one is called The Grief Stones, and then the third one, which is coming out in the beginning of March, is called The Tomb of something. I don't know. It's called The Tomb of Dragons. Yeah, so I mean, I like Thara. Thara's an interesting character. He's a very uptight gay priest, and I think his character is really interesting. But I don't know. I'm sort of in a mixed place. I will see how I feel about The Grief Stones, and if I really end up enjoying it, then I will continue the series and read The Tomb of Dragons. But I don't know. I like Thara, but I don't like Thara anywhere near as much as I enjoyed Maya, the protagonist of The Goblin Emperor. So we'll see. If I like Grief Stones, then I will keep reading the series, and if I don't, then I won't. That's pretty simple, I think. Yeah, so next I am in the middle of the Reaper series by Rin Chupeco. This is a duology, so I read the first one, Silver Under Nightfall. This is like a vampire, ex-vampire hunter, ex-vampire book, because it's about this vampire couple, and they end up falling in love with this vampire hunter named Remy, and this is very like Castlevania inspired. It's probably definitely Castlevania fanfiction. I really enjoyed the first book, Silver Under Nightfall. I really enjoyed Remy Pendergast. He's such a fun character, and I liked it. I liked it a whole lot. The thing that has held me back from reading Court of Wanderers, which came out last year actually, is that so many people who enjoyed the first book like I did talked about how much of a letdown this book was, and they just felt like it was so rushed, and like it was just like not really a good conclusion for the series, and that scares me. That scares me a lot, you guys. So then I am also in the middle of the Bright Falls series by Ashley Herring Blake. I have read 2 out of the 3 books in this series, so I still need to read Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. I really love Delilah Green Doesn't Care. The second one, Ashton Parker something, boo. But hopefully Iris Kelly Doesn't Date kind of saves the day and finishes the series on a brighter note, because Astrid Parker was not that girl to me, but I do really like Ashley Herring Blake's writing style, so of course I'm interested in reading that last book in this series and whatever else the author comes out with. So then we also have the Legends and Lattes series by Travis Baldry. Of course I read Legends and Lattes, and then there was a prequel that came out called something and something. You guys know what I'm talking about. It'll be up there on the screen. So yeah, I have the prequel, and I have not read it yet, so I need to do that pretty soon, probably. Alright. So then I really want to finish the Kiss Quotient series, just because I started the Kiss Quotient series in 2019. I think that was when I read the Kiss Quotient, and I really love Stella and Michael. Like, one of my favorite book couples of all time. Think about them all the time. They're the blueprint for so much you guys don't even understand, and I really loved them. And I liked Esme and Kai in the second book in the series, and I have been eagerly anticipating and also desperately avoiding reading Kwan's book, just because from what I've heard, the book really isn't about Kwan. It's about the female protagonist, whose name I don't know. I'm sorry. And I don't know how much that excites me, because Kwan seemed like such an interesting dude, and I kind of want this story to be balanced the way that it was in the previous books in this series, where it's like you getting a storyline for both the male and female protagonist. And I feel like if it's mostly just a storyline for the girl and Kwan's like supporting cast, that doesn't excite me, but I do want to finish it just to say that I completed it and move on with my life. So I will be reading The Heart Principle at some point this year, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm excited about it, but I am gonna do it. All right, then we have the Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. I have read Yours Truly, and I didn't realize that Yours Truly was a part of a series until after I had read it. So the first book in that series is called A Part of Your World, and then the third book in it is the it's the one about summer. What is it called? God, my memory is really going. Like I feel like the dementia is setting in. I need to do some brain exercises or something, because this is really bad, you guys. Like, I can't remember anything. Then the third book in the Part of Your World series is called Just for the Summer, and I'm really excited to read Just for the Summer. That one sounds like really, really fun. It's about these two people who feel like they're sort of cursed, and every time they get out of a relationship, their ex ends up finding like their life partner and getting married, and they just feel like there's some kind of curse on them, and they want to break the curse by dating each other, and they think that dating each other will help them like cancel out the curse. And it just sounds silly, but so real. Like, superstitious people unite, because that's some real ass shit. So I'm excited to read that one. Part of Your World sounds nice, and it's like a small town romance. It's about this doctor who's really stressed out, and she's in a small town, and she falls in love with this guy who's like the mayor of his small town or something. Cute. I do own that book, and I haven't read it yet. I don't know how I owned Part of Your World before owning Yours Truly, and I still never connected the dots that they were in the same series until after I read Yours Truly. That was like some true silliness on my part. All right. Just something quick. I am in the middle of the Between Earth and Sky series by Rebecca Roanhorse. I've read the first two books, Black Sun and Fevered Star, and then the last book is called Mirrored Heavens, and I haven't read that one yet. Fevered Star was not a hit for me, but I do really have like a deep connection to Serapio as a character, and I want to see where his character ends up, so I definitely need to finish reading the series, at least for the closure on that. So I will be reading that eventually. I don't know if it'll be this year or next year, but it's definitely on my list. Then we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I have over here. I'm in the middle of reading Fellowship of the Ring, as you can see with my bookmark. I am pretty deep into it. I'm about 400 pages into it. And then we have The Two Towers and The Return of the King, and I am planning to complete this trilogy this year, and I'm excited about it. This is my second time reading the Fellowship of the Ring. I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more on this second go round. But yeah, like, it's a fantasy classic. I definitely want to read it just for my own personal enjoyment, but I am also reading it with some friends for a like read along here on BookTube. The read along is hosted on my friend Erin's channel, so I'll leave you a link to some of the live shows that have been done for it. But yeah, good stuff. Very excited about it, and it's been a good reading experience so far. Then I'm in the middle of the Wolf Den trilogy by Elodie Harper. The first book is called The Wolf Den. The second book is called The House with the Golden Door. The third book, I don't know what it's called, but I do want to read it. This is a historical series about a character who is enslaved, and she's a sex worker, and this is about her trying to work her way out of slavery. And this book is just so interesting. It is set in ancient Pompeii, and it's just like such a well-written story, and it's so compelling, and I really enjoyed the main protagonist. And of course it's difficult to read, it is a difficult subject matter, but I have not read another historical fiction book that I found to be like as deeply compelling as this one was, so I am definitely going to read more in this series. I read this in 2022, I believe, and I really enjoyed it, and I completely forgot that I was in the middle of it. I think I was waiting for the second book to come out, and then the second book took some time to come out, so I just sort of forgot it existed, but it's back on the brain, and I do want to read it as soon as I can. Alright, so then we have The Drowning Empire by Andrea Stewart. I have read the first book out of this trilogy, and that one is called The Bone Shard Daughter. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fascinating like world that was built. I thought the protagonist, Lynn, was an interesting person. There was this other character named Jovis who was kind of interesting. There was this queer couple that was like main POV characters, and they were fascinating. They had such a toxic relationship, but they were like really fascinating people as well. And I've tried to read the second book in this series, but for whatever reason I just have struggled to make it past like that first chapter or two. Like the first chapter just wasn't really engaging, but I do want to get back into that series and finish it up because like I said, it was very interesting, it was very creative, and I do have like that like niggling feeling in the back of my brain that I'm always thinking about that series, like, oh yeah, like I wonder how that plot point ended up, but I just haven't read it yet, so I need to stop playing around and read it. And then we have the Monster Smash Agency series by Catherine Moon. The first book is called Games with the Orc, which I attempted to read and DNF'd. And then, for whatever reason, I decided to read the second book, How for the Gargoyle. I gave that book 5 stars. I think that book, like, changed my life in some ways. Like, I loved that book so much, you guys don't even understand. And I loved it to such an extent that I kind of want to go back and give Games with the Orc another chance. And I also am currently reading the third book in this series, which is called Lessons with the Mothman. I'm like 68% through that reading experience. It's a very interesting reading experience, and it's very monster-esque. Like his appendages are very much not human-like at all, and they're very insecty and very weird and gross. I did almost throw up a little bit the first time his appendages were talked about, but that's a monster romance for you, baby. So it's interesting, it's compelling, but gross nonetheless. But yeah, I mean, I really liked Howl for the Gargoyle, and I did not find that gross. I found it really, really hot, actually. But I think Catherine Moon, she's a really interesting author, and she's very cool and very creative. Sometimes too creative for her own good, I think. But I will keep reading just for curiosity's sake. And we all know that curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel once I finish Lessons for the Mothman. Maybe I will go back and read the Games for the Orc that I DNF'd. We'll see. Who knows? The world's our oyster, you know? So who knows what I'll do. The Priest series by Sierra Simone, I'm also in the middle of that. I've read 2 of the 3 books in that series. Okay, Saint is the 3rd book in the series, and I read that one, and then I also read Priest, obviously. I have a whole video reading and talking about Priest. I can leave that for you linked in the description below. I think that video is actually really funny. Like, I took the book way too seriously, but that's just me. That's just who I am. But Saint is like the pinnacle of literature to me. That book was so good. That book was so good. Like, I can't even put into words how much I adored that one, and I have reread that one a few different times. I love Saint so much, but I need to just finally finish the series off. The second book in the series, Sinner, I skipped over it at the time when I was reading the books. I'm not really sure why, but I do just want to read it and get it out the way, and hopefully I'll enjoy it. I kind of enjoyed Priest, even though I found the female protagonist in that, Poppy, I found her really fucking annoying, actually. But I loved Saint. Loved Saint. We'll see how I feel about Sinner. And yeah, so I need to read that. I'll probably finish that this year. I can see it in my mind's eye, like it's getting finished for sure. All right, then we have 2 series by Emily Rath. So we have the Second Son series by Emily Rath. This is a Polly Waichu historical romance series, and so the first 2 books in it I have read. They're a connected duology about like the same quadruple of people. And then the 3rd book in the series is about an entirely different throuple. That one is called Alcott Hall, and I'm excited to read that one. I haven't gotten a chance to read it yet, but I'm excited to read that one. My bestie Mariam read that one and really enjoyed it, so I need to read it so I can finish off the Second Son series. I think it'd be a good time. And then I'm also reading the Jacksonville Rays series by Emily Rath, which everyone knows, Pucking Around. It was a viral book like 2 years ago, and it's a very extensive series. I read the prequel one that one night, then I read Pucking Around, and then I read Pucking Ever After, which is like it's like book 1.5 or something stupid like that, but I'm counting that as 3 books in the series, and then there are 3 more that need reading thus far. And then I think another book is coming out this year. Emily Rath is a little bit too prolific for her own good, but like yeah, I think that's about it. The only other series that I have to mention to you guys is Fangs by Billy Balabolli. I always say that name a little bit weird because it just doesn't sound right, but I think that's how you're supposed to say it. This is a vampire manga. Yeah, so Fangs is about this dude named N, and he's at a party one night and he wakes up as a vampire. He was a victim of a vampire attack. Everyone else in the club was killed, but he was the one lucky guy who ended up getting turned. And in this world, like, vampires, they have their whole like underground organized society, and it's called Fangs. And so through the Fangs program, we have this character Ichi who sort of steps up as his like vampire mentor, and so N goes to live with Ichi and he's his partner, and his Fangs partner helps him like learn how to eat and how to like not kill people and all that good stuff, and he's pretty much acclimating him to being a vampire and the vampire lifestyle. But this is about N and Ichi like also falling in love, and this is a very explicit series, so you know, kiddos, don't read this one, but I love En and Ichi. They're so fun. I have read the first 2 volumes in this, and the 3rd volume came out a few months ago, and so I have that on my shelves, but I haven't read it yet. I'm scared to read it because it takes so long for volumes of this series to come out. Like, it took almost 2, maybe 3 years for volume 3 to come out. Ridiculous as fuck. Ridiculous. So I'm like nervous to read this one because the 2nd volume ended with like a crazy cliffhanger, and I had to wait 5 million years for the next volume to come out. So am I willing to put myself through that same kind of struggle and turmoil for volume 4? I don't know, but I guess I'm gonna have to. So yeah, those are all of the series that I'm in the middle of currently, and my current thoughts on them, how I'm feeling, how deep I am into all of them. It's a lot, you guys. So wish me luck on completing them, and knowing me, I'll probably end up in the middle of far more series as the year progresses. So we'll see how all that goes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, you guys. Mwah.